Today, we remember the 26 lives lost 11 years ago during a mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown.
Yeah, over the past 11 years, local communities had grieved the loss, and our lawmakers have pushed legislation to expand gun control, while the victims' families have had to fight for justice against conspiracy theories directed at them by Alex Jones.
Joining us now is Matt Blumenthal, state representative for the 147th District, who's had his influence in both legislation and representation for victims' families. Matt, let's begin here. Let's talk about whether you believe Connecticut's doing enough or has done enough to address gun safety since December 14th, 2012.
Thank you so much for having me this evening, Matt and Sarah. We're continuing to be a leader on gun violence prevention issues. The tragedy that affected our communities on December 14, 2012 rippled throughout the nation. But ever since, we've been focused on trying to take the most effective measures we can to make Connecticut as safe as we can. And that's included in the past several years a ban on ghost guns and 3D printed guns. It's included safe storage laws. It's included transformational legislation in the past session that filled a lot of the gaps in the laws that we have had. Just this week, I was down at the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which was having a convening. Several of my colleagues, including Steve Stafstrom and Aaron Gaston from Bridgeport, were there. And we heard tell that essentially Connecticut is a leader, but there is more work to do.
Matt, I wanted to ask you, I know you and Chris Maddie represented those Sandy Hook families during the Alex Jones trial that was about a year ago. He recently declared bankruptcy. Creditors haven't been able to collect on really any of the money that he owes those Sandy Hook families. So, you know, what's the plan moving forward, I guess, legally? And do you think any of those families will ever see any of that money?
So I try to keep separate my legal from my my governmental capacity. So I'm not going to comment on any of the legal strategy or anything like that today. But suffice it to say, this is a very difficult day for them. And these are some of the most courageous people I've ever met. They are passionate and they've stood up for themselves and they've turned their pain into purpose. And it's been a tremendous honor to represent them.
Okay, so now let's go back to then your role as a representative. Can the state do more to address the mental health aspect of what causes a person to commit a mass shooting?
Absolutely. Mental health is a big issue, not only in terms of our red flag laws and other laws that can ensure we keep firearms out of the hands of people who may be dangerous of themselves or others, but also for what happens after a shooting. There's tons of research showing that a very high percentage of individuals who have been shot they're very likely to either be shot again within a short period of time, relatively short period of time, or they are having a high likelihood of being involved in another element of violence against somebody else. So one of the things that research has shown is that community intervention programs that can bring psychological and emotional resources to address the trauma of gun violence, not only help the individuals who have suffered from gun violence already, but they can prevent future gun violence. And that's one of the things that we heard from the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, is that there are significant resources for the nation, including about $1.5 billion to address these issues. And it's very important that we take advantage of that.
And we've seen some of that funding coming here to the state of Connecticut. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. All right. Thank you so much, Representative Matt Blumenthal. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.